Welcome, everybody. Dead Edition. Ha-ha. He's Russell Johnson.
He's Dave Cottingham.
Welcome back after a few weeks of being off a little bit, getting together and doing this right, because I didn't want to do the show without you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
I think I missed the week. You missed the week. Whatever. So, anyway, we're back now to go over the past 3 episodes of Fear the Walking Dead. Our last episode, we talked about the season premiere, and the episode after that titled We All Fall Down. So now we were talking about the next 3 episodes. The first one, which is Ouroboros, right? Mm-hmm. So that's so at this point where they need supplies, and they notice that wreckage,
right?
Which really neat, because this episode ties into Flight 4 something. So I think it was 421 or something like that, maybe. I'm just going to say 421 because I like that number.
Yeah, that's good.
That whole series, short series that they
Which
released.
I haven't watched. So I'm sad disappointed I didn't watch it, because it ties in, especially even all the way up to the 5th episode.
Yes.
Those characters all kind of come in there, so I wish I would have known where they came from, because that Ouroboros started out with them, that wreckage, that boat, or the raft.
Yes.
In the water after the wreckage. So I was kind of like, what is going on
That's
here?
right.
So I didn't know where it came from, and then they cut to the boat, and I'm like, what happened? What happened to the people? What on the boat?
So as soon as I saw that, I actually paused the DVR. I was watching it, and I went back and watched, because it's about 18 minutes to watch the entire miniseries. So yeah, I watched it all before that. I watched that episode. But anyway, so they so you find out that's the wreckage of the plane. Now I couldn't remember. Did we see that plane in season 1 when Nick looks up, or was that an insert? Because I feel like I saw him do that. Look up and see the plane kind of...
very possibly.
I think it was in season 1. But anyway, you guys may know that for sure. But I think that scene was in there where he looked up and that plane was kind of... So anyway, that's the plane that the series is on. So anyway, what'd you think of... Because we learned a lot about our characters, I feel like, in this episode. Especially our younger characters.
We did. And I like where they're going with these characters, because I was always... Initially, season 1, I was very... even the first premiere of season 2, I always thought Chris was kind of... It's like, oh, don't make Chris the wimpy kid, Right. And I feel like they've really brought him along, especially up to episode 5, which we'll talk about. But and I think he grew a lot in Ouroboros, actually. Mm-hmm. Nick was always kind of, hey, we can handle it, it's no big deal. But he discovers the whole thing about getting covered in walker blood or zombie blood, or whatever you want to call it, and that they can't smell you, or they can't sense you. I thought it was really cool when he went face to face with the one walker just looking at him. Nick has become fearless, so he's become a real asset to everyone. And I like that Chris had to deal, like when he went into the plane and saw the guy who was actually alive, and that guy, when he got him out of his seat, and his spine was broken in half, and there's no way he was going to walk. He just wanted him to kill him, and it'd have to kill him the way he did, which was bludgeoning him to death. It wasn't like he just stabbed him and he's done. He had to go through serious violence against an actual living person to put him out of his misery. So I thought that was great for him. I like that Madison finally confronted Strand on where we're going to Mexico, what's this all about, and they had some cool walker stuff. I'd never seen the one walker where Nick slid down the gully there, where the walker's buried in sand. The crabs are coming in and out of him, eating him up, and I thought that was pretty cool. But I think, again, it shows Nick it was an accident on his part, but him being able to fight his way out of that, and then help them when the walkers came over the hill, and the girl from the plane crash comes in there. So we have a new character.
Alex is her name.
To get her onto the boat. So I thought that was really interesting. I liked that episode a lot.
Yeah, and I liked her character a lot in the miniseries. I mean, she's kind of the catalyst in the miniseries that kind of knows, she understands and knows what's happening when it's happening on the plane. So I felt like they kind of, I don't know, they've shortchanged her a little bit in the series when they introduced her in here. She showed she could hold her own weight a little bit, but the fact that they kind of let her decide they wouldn't let her on board, they dragged her, and then eventually Strand just
I knew that was coming.
Loose.
I knew that was coming. Strand was just like, nope, we're not doing it. So to have them feel like they're going to get a little bit of relief, even though they had to stay on the raft. We'll give you water, we'll give you food, give you some clothing and blankets and stuff like that. And then just to like minutes later, it's like, yeah, I'm out again. See ya.
Oh my God,
Goodbye.
That's tough. Which brings us into the next episode, Blood in the Streets. And a lot of this has to do with Nick and the blood, like you said.
And a lot of Strand's backstory as well.
All of Strand's backstory. You
finally figure out where he came from, how he came to be.
Why it's called the Abigail.
Right.
So yeah, there's a big backstory, which is neat. So did you have any guesses on about that? Or?
I didn't. I thought it was a really cool kind of reveal of his whole backstory because I didn't know where it was going when he meets this, talking. It's after Katrina when he meets this guy in a bar.
Do you know who that guy is? Like there's only one movie I know this guy.
No, I don't. I didn't.
He was in Mission Impossible 2.
Oh, okay.
He was the altered the counter to Tom Cruise.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, that
the
was
Australian
him?
guy. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
wow.
him.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
all
him.
right. But yeah, to have him meet him and he realized that Strand is broke and this guy's he property owner and he's got to kick people out and he doesn't want to do it, but they still feel a little shady, in the backstory. And I like how it started with Nick like going like all of a sudden he's on the beach with all these tents and stuff. I'm like, why is Nick off the boat? And for him to kill a walker, gut him, get blood all over him and everything. I was like, wow, Nick's becoming a really cool character. I really like his character a lot and where he's going. So, I like the Strand backstory. I thought it was interesting how it all unfolded, even to the point where after he robbed Abigail and he came back to get him with his muscle guy, and he didn't do anything to him other than I'll pay you back. And Strand's still very smooth about being able to manipulate people and get what he needs done, and he's a pretty strong businessman. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. So the other thing also that happens in this episode is they get boarded. Oh man. With the pregnant lady apparently is, I need help, and which I had that just being a Walking Dead fan. I had that just like, don't do something's gonna happen, But they made it very convincing that these people were in trouble. And the woman's bleeding and all this other stuff. So I was like, well, what could you do in that situation? You can't, what are you going to do? Start shooting a
pregnant
woman?
But I like Chris's reaction, though. Again, Chris has become, he's trying to step up and he's trying to become, the one who can do the dirty deed because he had done it on that beach in episode 2. And he was like, should I shoot him? I don't know if I should shoot him. And he's just like, doesn't know what to do because everything's just so chaotic, But when they get boarded and Reed and Jake, who had been talking to Alicia.
Yeah.
And now you come to the realization that, her talking to them led them to their boat. And Reed is just a complete psychopathic a-hole. I mean, he's like the villain in The Walking Dead now that it's just like a total, I'm going to do what I got to do to survive. I don't care about any of you people. Mm-hmm. I'm taking your boat. I'll kill all of you. I mean, he was just that, and egging on Chris, just, calling him names, and Chris is like, you can see his hatred in his face for this guy. So I thought that was very interesting. I like how they kind of didn't drag that out at the end of the episode.
No.
They made it seem like, well, we got Nick getting. What did you think about when Nick finally got to that house?
Yeah.
Like what was going to happen? Because you saw that guy come out and like pulls a gun on him, and then you realize who it is.
Yeah. Yeah, you realize who it is, and that's obviously you find out that Strand basically sent him, but that was confusing about how Strand tried to run almost, jumped in the raft and tried to get away, and obviously they shot at him and all that stuff, but it was neat to see, you just got more story. Obviously, you got everything kind of completed about as far as like, okay, well, Strand's motive is he's getting down there, but you find out that this guy wasn't expecting, this whole group.
Only two.
It was like two, right?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
So then it comes down, okay, well, what are they going to do then, so.
But being so well prepared, he had the boat all ready to go, he had his supplies, he had his clothes, he wouldn't let Nick in his car.
I know, right?
Covered in blood. He's like, we'll pick you out of his car. Like, dude, it's the apocalypse.
It's the apocalypse. What the hell? You can't take it with you,
exactly.
Kind of thing. So, All right, so then obviously in the end, what sets up the next episode is the separation of the family.
Yeah, Connor comes. We're finally found out about this mysterious Connor.
That's right.
Who is, well, it's revealed in episode 5 who he is in relation to Reed and everybody else.
Connor's brother,
right?
Or Reed's brother.
But I thought the way they ended the episode to have them boarded with Connor and everybody, and them getting Alicia and Travis off the boat, making everybody else stay, and then all of a sudden when Nick shows up, the gunfire, and just that one chick was like,
boom, boom.
She takes it to the head. I mean, it was just like chaos, and Madison stabbing Reed through the gut with that.
It's like some pole or something.
It looked like I thought it originally was like a crowbar or something.
Yeah,
but
something like that.
Something a little different like that. So he gets stabbed, and they take control back over the boat. But after Travis and Alicia are off with Connor and his group to shore, so it kind of ended there. But I thought it was really cool to end it like that, not have it like end on okay, they're still held at gunpoint. It kind of kept the story moving forward, which I liked.
So the last episode that we saw was basically them planning the rescue mission to try to get Travis back, Alicia back. And Alicia, it's weird because Alicia's not technically being held captive. They're wanting her to kind of, Jack is trying to get her part of the group and to help them search for other people and shows them how it works and all that stuff, which is, so, but obviously, she's not thinking that. She's trying to think about helping Travis and getting a hold. So, but I thought, obviously we come to the point where Chris makes a decision on his own.
Because even
did you believe him? What did you think when he stated it?
I didn't believe him. I didn't believe he was going to turn. I mean, maybe he thought he's going to die anyway. So I got to take care of the situation now. But I think Reed has gotten in his head, and I think him revealing to Nick, like, if I had just shot them when they first got here, none of this would be happening right now.
Right.
So he takes a lot of blame on himself, and he wants to redeem himself somehow, I think. So I think he just kind of snapped and was like, he's going to die anyway. So he went ahead and shot him, shot Reed.
But he didn't shoot him in the head.
He didn't, which was an interesting tell, I thought. I think that's why I don't believe that he thought he was going to turn, because he shot him here in his cheek, like, through his head.
Yeah.
But he shot him here first, so he's like, he could have done that, but he didn't, because maybe he didn't shoot him in the brain because he shot him in his face. Because
I feel like he kind of shot him from a distance and just,
because Reed comes back.
Yeah, totally. He's not dead.
He actually turns.
Yeah.
So something had to be happening there.
Which is a brilliant strategy by what's his name? Dennis? No, what's his name? The older guy.
Ruben Blaze. I can't remember his character's name, but
isn't that Dennis? Shit, I can't remember.
Go ahead.
Anyway, but I thought it was pretty brilliant because
he was like, not yet.
Yeah, he stabbed him into the wall, and he's like, hold on a second, let me think about this, because right away you start thinking like, wait a minute.
He's a great.
They're going to use this.
Daniel.
Yeah. So Daniel, they're going to use this somehow. And I thought the same thing.
He's a great strategist. I mean, he's like perfect. Like, okay, wait a minute. Let's not rush. Let's do something with this.
Yeah.
Because they've already said, hey, we'll switch. We'll give you Reed. You give us Travis, and you give us Alicia. And then Connor agreed to it. Like, but now he's dead. So what do we do?
Yeah.
So I thought it was a brilliant move to be like, well, they bagged their heads when they left, so let's bag his head.
Yeah. And I was wondering if they had to have told them to bag Travis, because I was thinking, why would they put a bag on his head? It's not like they're like revealing where they are.
True, yeah.
Because I was like, when they bagged Travis, I was like, they must have told them so that it didn't look weird that they showed up with him and his bag on his head.
But I thought it was interesting. Like early on in the episode, I thought it was. What'd you think of? Because it really threw me off. Because we're all thinking, Alicia. Okay, Chris is feeling guilty because he didn't shoot him and stop all this. Alicia's like, well, I led them here because I talked to Jake on the radio. The big reveal was, what'd you think when Alex showed up? When Travis is down in a cage.
Yeah, see, again, I think that from what I saw in the miniseries with that character, I was a little disappointed on how they used her, because I felt like she would have been, and maybe she ends up still being somehow. I hope there's more to her, because she was really brilliant. You got to see that miniseries.
I do.
She was really brilliant in that
I think
miniseries.
and you have a different perspective on it because I didn't see the miniseries.
Yeah.
So I thought her reveals were like, I thought she was a little kind of sprinkled in here and there, but I did like the reveal that she was the one to be like, we were at the boat, so we know where they are.
Yeah.
And Connor took her aboard and says, I know where to get these people, because she had to kill her brother. He was dying anyway, but she had to throw him overboard, and she blames Travis for that, because even though Strand cut the rope,
Well, that wasn't her brother.
wasn't her brother.
No, it was just the kid on the flight
Well,
that she helped save.
She blames Travis, and
Right.
Travis ultimately blames himself. He's like, look, I knew when I started down the road of violence that it was going to change me, and
Yeah, he explained shooting.
he didn't let
his
her.
Wife,
He didn't let her on the boat, so she blames. Even though Strand cut the rope, and really
Yeah.
Strand's fault.
Right.
He's still like, if I had let you on the boat, this wouldn't have happened. And so everybody's always going back to like, if I had done something different, none of this would be happening right now.
And it was just a little deviation from, maybe that's her character changing. I just don't. She's completely different the way she handled herself in the miniseries, helping people, and
Right.
and then all of a sudden she's like turning evil almost, right before you. But then, unless you see the miniseries, you don't know.
Right, exactly.
So I was a little taken aback by that, thinking that maybe she would help him in exchange for let me go with you kind
Right.
of thing. That's kind of what I was hoping for. But maybe
Do you feel like that like for me anyway, I felt like it was a nice thing to have that weight lifted off Alicia. Like she realizes that she didn't leave them there.
that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But what do you, what's with the pregnant chick?
I don't
The
know.
guy Connor makes her a nice dinner.
She's hungry. She's feeding for two, man.
And then she's like, I'm taking your steak.
Yeah, totally.
And then she's you're staying here. You're gonna be locked in the cage. It's like, I think she was just used, because she was just like, come in and just be a bitch for a second.
I guess, yeah.
That's all she does.
I
Like,
don't know.
it's kind
I guess.
of thing. But what did you think about when they actually made the exchange? Because Reed's like,
man.
we'll give you Travis. Want to see Reed's okay.
Yeah.
We all know Reed's not in
At
good
first,
shape.
at first I was like, how are they gonna hide the? He's like
right,
going at
right.
it, but then, but I thought that was pretty brilliant. Push him on, grab him, and then
Take bag off.
Oh man,
bit
that's
him.
perfect. I thought it was great. Now, so I thought Travis should have. She had a gun, right? So I think the guy started rushing him. The other guy, it could have easily taken him out, I think. But no, it was a brilliant strategy. Again, Daniel thought of that and said, let's keep him alive. Let's use them against them. So those guys they're
done.
done. Yeah.
And Jake's by himself.
Yeah,
With Alex, apparently, really the only two left on the ship that we
Correct.
know of, and the pregnant.
Yeah, I don't think that's the last we'll see of Alex or Jack. So I think they're going to be back somehow.
And I liked Alicia's escape
Oh yeah,
back to the boat. She's like,
Totally.
she's got nowhere to go, and she's like, how do I get down to the boat? Because we got to get out of here. And
slide on down.
yeah, that's cool.
No, it was cool. It was a good episode.
I
It was
really
a very good
thought
episode.
the show has really picked up. Episode 1 wasn't bad at all, but it still didn't have a lot going on. I think, again, much like season 1, where it didn't really pick up to the end, I think they're really starting to hit their stride as far as what their story is right now.
agree.
Now they got everybody together. They're not separating, moving off in different directions. And, like I said, the only thing that bothers me is Madison is like her character is still like the Rick Grimes of the early with Carl. Like, Carl, you gotta stay behind. The kids stay behind. It's like these kids can handle themselves at this point. I mean, they're kind of coming into their own, and for her to be like, go to Nick, don't you ever pull that again. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Nick is more. He's probably the most well equipped to handle this world.
Yep. Yep.
So if anything, I'd be taking his lead.
Yeah, it'd be one thing if they were 10, 12 years old.
Exactly.
But they're,
Yeah.
they're older and they've seen enough already. They've handled themselves enough. So yeah. Well, 2 episodes left this first part of the season. I think there's a break, and then they're going to bring it back before season 7 of The Walking Dead returns. We'll wrap up this season 2 because I think it's 15 episodes total. I think they're doing
15. Mm-hmm.
7 now and then 8 on the back end. So we'll be back next week and talk about the next episode of Fear the Walking Dead, and then we'll do obviously the mid-season finale wrap up for the break. So thanks for watching. Leave comments below what you guys thought about this past couple episodes, obviously, and what you think about where Fear the Walking Dead is going. Do you like it? Do you not like it?
Yeah, I think a lot of people griped early on. We griped early on about the show, but I think if you give it time, I think where they're going with the story is. I mean, it still has your walkers and everything, but it's I think it's kind of finding its legs.
It is,
honestly.
Yeah, there's elements, some good writing, some good acting in it from that's similar to The Walking Dead. I think the only thing for me right now, the only thing that really kind of it misses a little bit is some of that tension of what's around the corner or because you don't have that in this because everything's kind of wide open.
Sure.
You're not in confined areas like you are in The Walking Dead. That's the only part I feel like that's missing. But there is some good acting going on in this series, and there's some good writing, some good storylines, good characters. So I think it's getting better.
Yeah, I do too.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. Click subscribe to get some more videos from the 21 Network. He's Russ.
He's Dave.
See you next week, guys.